So generous gachas are a myth. The cost moves from the banner to the gear grind. I was wondering why this post gets so many upvotes, right? 1.3k upvotes. I'm trying to understand. So basically PGR, Devil May Cry Collab PGR, Duet Night Abyss, okay, and then this Epic 7 raid is everybody is saying. So these are the so-called generous gacha game. I'm guessing the person that wrote this post disagree. The gacha landscape has been wild recently. We have seen an unprecedented wave of generosity. Alright, Genshin Impact finally gave out a limited 5-star constellation for their anniversary. Neverness to Everness NTE are launching without a 50-50 system. It feels like developers are finally listening. Alright, though, is the true price of these free characters and easier pulls simply being transferred from the gacha banner to a more brutal, time-consuming endgame grind? Very, very interesting. So basically they are shifting the instead of you paying money, you have to pay with your time instead, is it? Is that what he's trying to say? I think some people might like it, but I'm not sure if that's going to be a good thing. We have to see if that's going to be a good thing or not, right? Because at the end of the day, if they are going to shift towards MMO again, I don't think people that play gacha games want to play MMOs, right? Because gacha games are like sort of like casual player friendly in most cases. MMOs are not. So that's why a lot of MMOs are sort of dying, right? Like Lost Ark, I remember when Lost Ark first came out, everybody was talking about it. Now I don't hear anyone playing Lost Ark anymore. I'm sure there are still people that play Lost Ark, but I just feel like, you know, the landscape has shifted, right? Okay, Punishing Grey Raven, okay, PGR. You can farm any S-rank character for free over time, alright? It's incredibly generous, but the character feels incomplete without their signature weapon. Okay, that's fair. Yeah, a lot of game does that, right? It's not just PGR. I think you can say the same for Hoyo games, you can say the same for Wuthering Waves, which is of course in a separate gacha. The primary bottleneck shifts from the character banner to the weapon banner and the intense grind for resources and resonances. Okay, so no wonder the PGR thing is shown right here. So this is going to be, as you can see, right, a lot of this stuff. So these are going to be the weapons for these characters right here. I mean, that's kind of a fair point, I think, to a certain extent, right? Calling PGR grind is pure clown. There's sweep in it. I don't think he meant like he's not trying to say grind as in like you need hours of grind, but it's just the shift towards it, right? I think that's what he's trying to say. Maybe he's not using the term correctly, right? Epic 7, getting the hero is just the price of admission to the real soul-crushing gacha. Okay, the gear grind, where weeks of effort can be invalidated by a single bad substate roll. Okay, I think that's fair. Arknights respects your intelligence by making its material grind about strategy, but the sheer volume of resources needed for E2 and masteries creates a long-term time gate that is just as real as a PT counter. This philosophy seems to be the true future. We are even seeing games like Duet Night Abyss take the extreme step of removing the character gacha entirely, betting everything on the grind that replaces it. I mean, I definitely can see a lot of people are frustrated with the gear grind, right? I can see, as somebody that plays Wuthering Waves, if you guys see me grind echoes all the time, always roll in the bad substats, roll in the defense flat, same goes for Zenless on Zero as well, right? That's why sometimes you appreciate games like Blue Archive, for example, where there's literally zero RNG in the grind. For Blue Archive, the gear is you farm in the regular campaign story, and then you just upgrade from tier 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 to 7 to 8 to 9. There's no like RNG, there's no substats, all of it have fixed stats. You just upgrade the gears by sweeping the stage. There's no like, I don't see why there's a need for you to overcomplicate things with all of this RNG. I'm guessing the whole purpose is for you to basically log in the next day and log in the next day to farm again and log in the next day to farm again. I think that's why that's the intention of the developers of putting these systems in the first place, right? I think it's intended for you to have a long session of grinding so that you basically play the game every single day. But yeah, if Blue Archive can pull it off, I don't know why other games did not try to go that approach, right? But I'm guessing it's good to see that a lot of games are shifting in the other direction, right? This is why I think the generous gacha are actually a myth. They are not real. The true measure of game's respect for its players isn't how easy it is to get a character. It's the quality, the fairness and respect for the player's time demonstrated in the entire progression journey that follows. I can see that being a case, right? For sure, to a certain extent. A celebratory freebie on the front end can easily be a smokescreen for a much more frustrating, time-consuming, and psychologically draining grind on the back end. It changes the nature of our investment from a quick, exciting pool to a slow, potentially endless chore. I can always see the chore and stuff, right? But this can easily be fixed or like be improved if some of the gear grind can be elevated. For example, like Wuthering Wave, all they need to do is just, I don't know if they will ever do this. I know Genshin has done that, Honkai Star Rail has done that. They give you an ability to modify substats, right? Or reroll substats. If Wuthering Wave have something similar, that they can give you something along the lines. Right now, Wuthering Wave only you can modify the main stat. You cannot modify substats yet. But in the future, if they can give you something like that, I think that will fix majority of the issues with the gear grind, right? For a lot of these games, they just have to introduce materials like this. But they have to do it in a balanced way. They cannot do it in the pay-to-win way. If you do it in the pay-to-win, they have to buy a package to get those things. There's gonna be a little bit of drama, for sure, right? Little bit of drama. The honest upfront RNG of a gacha banner that you can win or lose, or the hidden time-consuming RNG of a gear grind that never truly ends. Okay? Which game do you think has actually gotten this balance right? Which game has gotten the proper balance? Alright, getting all of this in the right order. I can't think of any. Maybe Nikkei to a certain extent, but then Nikkei also has Rock's issue, right? The old RPG of grind is real. Those companies spend years to master their FOMO craft. There's always a catch, no matter how free-to-play friendly it is. I think to a certain extent it's true. This guy with the essay is a tourist. Tourist? That and both the operating costs and the developing costs are skyrocketing. Ain't no way gacha will get more generous when they are making the jump from a few PNJ commission to that one random artist to full on open world that could make some AAA games blush. Why is always a sight when people say their game is the most generous? Because it happened to give 20 more pulls. Yeah, I think the generosity also comes in forms of a lot of these games you cannot tell yet, because like Duet Night Abyss and of course the NTE, you can't tell the event structure yet. You don't know how those are going to be, right? Those needs to be evaluated once they come out with those. Different people care about different things in gachas. Some might not give a shit about the gear grind, for example, and just want their favorite characters to play with. For them, the more character pools, the more free to play and generous the game is. So it's a fair characterization. Yeah, I think for a lot of people, they just care about that, right? If you only care about gacha, sure. But like, I think it's usually more complicated than that, right? We'll see how the other games like Arknight's Anfield and stuff, and the other stuff goes. But how dupe heavy can also be, you know, important to how fair or how important or how impactful the gacha is going to be.